Switch the other one up.
Oh, yeah, man, at 7 o'clock, we will call the meeting to order. Everybody had a chance to review the previous minutes or reviews, right? The previous minutes.
We don't have a quorum from the last meeting for the minutes.
That is true, but you did have some corrections on it.
Mild corrections,
Okay. I did see that.
late verbiage.
Yep. In that case, we can jump ahead to finances, and if Terry shows up, we can approve those minutes at a later on in the meeting. Come on up.
Oh no, I just realized they didn't post something.
Is that other camera? Oh, is that
I
right?
turn this down.
Okay.
Slackers. Oh dear.
Waiting on the man to plug the camera in.
It's gonna be a good sign. No, but turn it around here.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say, what do you?
Come on.
You almost good over there?
Better.
Oh, yeah. Look at us go.
Sorry about that.
Smile here on camera. All right. Anything you would like to point out to us or bring our attention to?
I have something I'll bring up when we're done with the other stuff. The zoning, you'd asked me to put the $2,500 in that. On the accounts within general fund.
Yep.
One problem is where I have it, because I only have receipts and expenses, it's not actually a receipt, it's a budgeted amount, so I'm not sure how that works. Because, I mean, you have it budgeted and all your expenses show up on your other reports, but being in there, it's kind of. Somebody's got to explain that that's not receipts when you do the other thing, or I'm gonna have to put another column in or something somewhere.
Right, yeah, it almost have to be another column that's budgeted.
You'll have to revamp it to do that, I guess.
Sorry.
And then, oh, I did. When I was working today, the reappraisal fund, I added the other 10,000 in, part 10,000 was from the grand list fund. To
Yep.
the reappraisal fund, 10,000 was voted. It's not on this sheet, but it is in my one.
Okay. So that'd be another one that would have to go in as a budgeted item, right?
Well,
Or is that considered a receipt?
yeah, it's a transfer from one fund to the other, one of them, and the other one is a receipt.
Okay.
Because it's voted money.
Okay.
And it's like the grant writing, and that was perfect.
Yep.
stuff, but anyway. Just one of those things where, you know, I'd have to revamp my sheet and put it so that it doesn't show up as a receipt, because that 2,500 isn't a receipt, it's a
Right.
budgeted amount. We can check over the reports. Quarterlies are all done. Everything.
Are we done with the FEMA? Are we paid out on that?
Yeah, it's all paid out, yes, that is
Okay.
all done. That warrant you did covered everything, because I had talked with the bank and said you wanted to pay it, and I paid it, I've had it figured for Friday, because I didn't know when everybody was gonna get in to sign, so it
Right.
was.
We have
Probably a good thing.
two other sources. Oops, I'm sorry. We have two other sources for credit. One of them is the 5% of the total that the state of Vermont will pay eventually. And the other one is what they call the Cat Z, which is repayment for administrative costs. So that would be max time and paperwork, and my time and paperwork, it'll come back.
Okay.
So 5% of 1.1 is 55,000 from the state of Vermont. And then probably somewhere between 15 and 20,000 for the Cat Z
Okay,
I mean,
so like,
and that should clean it up.
okay,
So we're FEMA, the federal portion of it is totally paid out?
Yes.
our loan,
Yeah, but yeah, it's actually, he's right.
Not so much the loans paid off. I know we paid our loan. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
the money we're receiving from the government, did we receive all of it?
We've got that, the Cat C money for the administrative costs. We have to wait until everything is done before we can do that. And
Okay.
I think we can estimate whatever, finish that up.
yep.
And state,
So what was your number?
we have to apply for that one, Matt.
Your ballpark was what?
55 from the state of Vermont and, 15,000, we'll lowball it from the federal.
So just under 70,000 still to come in.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. It's good to know. We're just going over the finances. Yep,
So Vera, I know I asked this earlier, but for the record, because we had a discussion last meeting about it. Business tax. Does the town receive any monies from the businesses as business taxes?
Town does not receive business taxes. They receive just regular property taxes, which is taxed at the non-homestead rate.
Thank you.
right. So the only way the town would get tax money from a business in our town is if we decided or voted to implement the 1% sales tax that's allowed by the state of Vermont.
I don't know anything about business taxes. So
Oh,
I
okay.
can't really answer if that's all you could get. Or not.
Now that the ARPA fund is empty, do we still want to report on it or leave it on the report at least to the end of the year? I mean, it just shows a zero balance.
But when we get to the end of the year, then the auditors, give them the sheet. It's all the accounts that they need to audit.
Right.
And, they won't be forgotten. It's there and they know they've got to do it.
That works.
And
Thank
then
you.
after, at the end of the year. we take it on.
Thank you.
Anybody have any others? The only thing I saw was mud season.
Yeah.
We were 300 in the hole on the mud season. Ditch straw and stone. 3,200 in the hole.
Yeah.
We can,
Basically, we got the stones that sit down there now, basically.
That-
Didn't happen when we bought them.
okay. Nope, that's,
So the concern with the stone sitting down there, and it's not really finance, but since we brought it up, is people are opting to take stone. Which obviously is constitutes theft.
It was on Facebook.
Sorry, yes, it was on Facebook.
I would say to discuss that during the road,
yeah, let's not.
not for Vera.
Anything else for us, Vera, or anything else for Vera from us?
Okay, I have one thing.
Yep.
I was contacted by Community Bank. They have someone with Elevon who does, if we wanted to do credit cards, debit cards, electronic checks, etc. They just were wondering if we were interested. Darren Trainer emailed after the bank, after I talked to the bank. At first I said, I'd rather just wait till next year and let whoever comes in after me, if that's what they want. But then I thought, well, Kathy would use it as well. So I said, yeah, they can contact me. So they wanted to schedule a meeting, give them a couple days, schedule a meeting. And I said, I'd rather talk to the select board first, because if there's any expense to it, you would have to prove it anyway.
Right.
And so I emailed that to Darren and he emailed back, I know this will sound too good to be true, but we can do this at no cost to Bakersfield if we can assess service fee to the customer. The service fee to the customers.
Okay.
So I don't know if you'd like, John knows a lot about tech stuff. I don't know if you want to be in on that meeting, if you decide that's something you might want to do. The other thing I see is
Doesn't give you much paper trail, does it?
I'm not sure how that works.
That's right.
That's something that we could just, we should make a list of questions if we chose to do that. Well, I thought about something when I was at home. I said, do I want to be sitting there when I'm doing taxes, writing down account numbers if they call it in?
All right.
And, you know, it's too easy to make mistakes on those.
Yep.
If they had to come in and pay, and it was a machine and you just put the card in, that'd be one thing, but to write everybody's numbers down,
Right.
Now,
Transparency.
And they're saying there'd be no charge?
it would be passed on to the customer. The,
Right, so like.
So if it's 3%, you get charged. in.
It's 4% at the restaurant,
okay,
Yeah.
I don't,
because we're charged 4%,
that's something to ask too, you know, how much the fees would be, how would this work?
which would be pretty hefty
Yeah,
on
4%
a
is, yeah.
$3,000 tax bill.
Yeah.
that would be the person's right to make that decision too. You know, it's,
Be well informed. if
Yep.
they do that.
Mhm.
Like I said, I wasn't gonna even think about it this year because.
is that something where we can pick who's the services?
I'm not sure. That's, like I said, we could make a list of questions
Okay.
and ask those if we had a meeting.
If you think it's something, personal opinion, if you think it's something that would be beneficial to the town and its members, then I think it's worth looking into. You know way more about the financial stuff than I could pretend to know.
Excuse me.
Personal.
Ask, to take their cards, take
Yeah.
their cards.
Mhm.
No, I mean, but what bothers me is them calling up and I'm writing down account numbers. I mean, that's.
Right, it's a bad deal.
When you're busy with 3 people in
Well-
line, you're on the phone trying to write account numbers down, that's
The
not.
thing is too, if you do it that way, the charge is more than if you swipe the card. So you would actually have a machine here.
If it was a
that-
machine here, they came, but still, I mean, I'm on.
That's
back and
where,
forth.
yeah, that's where I wonder if you can pick and choose what your options are.
Right.
If they want to give us a credit card machine and it's not going to cost the town anything. There's a couple of things that I'm sure people would love to have
They
been
have
able.
them that'll attach right to your.
They do, they do.
You can do it to your phone.
The key is that you need to make sure it's PCI compliant, payment card industry compliant, and you're not opening up anyone using the system, the loss of their data due to issues. That's the concern, because we don't want someone coming to us and saying the town decided to accept it through this credit card company and they stole my numbers and now I've lost XYZ.
And that's the thing
So-
about writing them down too. When you gotta write a name with it, you gotta know who charged it. I really don't wanna be doing
Right.
that.
I mean, you're gonna be responsible for destroying those numbers.
Right.
Phone number. Expiration date. Zip
digits.
code,
And your other.
3-digit
the
security code.
3-digit code on the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work to manually doing
Yeah,
it.
I really don't wanna do that myself.
I don't blame you.
No,
Yeah.
no.
I
And
don't want to be
then,
responsible for having to write numbers down and doing stuff like that. So it would be a question of what can we do?
and this is the thing that gets me, because sometimes when I cash out at the end of the night, there's not enough funds in some of their accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah. they-
From credit cards, or overdraws a debit, if you debit card.
No, it does not give you the money.
So then you're chasing.
Well, it's usually a tip, so it's like, all right. But
Yeah,
I'm just saying, it doesn't always, I don't know.
Always easy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's not something that I know if I want to do, if I want to do or not, but. I just like bring it.
I know it's the way of the world, but I really like check or cash myself.
Yeah, my thought would be. I agree with you, Terry, that check and cash is easy, it's cut, it's dry. But it is also the way that everything is going now,
Mhm.
so
Agree.
I think it's worth looking into. I agree, I think John should be there for the questions and the tech support information. Cause I could sit there, but I might as well be out left field.
Something more simplified because
Right.
we are only using it for certain tasks.
And I think,
Well, you know, if
I-
these come in to Kathy, you need to do it.
and that's what I think I think the option for the town would be to have a credit card machine here
Yes.
for, you know, I don't see people coming in to pay their taxes on a credit card, but to each their own. But, you know, zoning permits and other expenses that we have here in town. A lot of people don't carry, you know, a couple $100 in cash, and I leave my checkbook. I don't even know where it is right now, but
You don't balance it every Saturday morning?
you know, I go online and I click the button that says that account and it tells me how much is in there and because I
But the thing,
don't use tax.
so
So,
the Kathy's fees go to Kathy.
right,
So how's Kathy gonna get those fees?
where it would all go to the, I would assume it would go to the general fund and then be paid out of the general
Would have to
fund,
pay, so she.
which is how it works now, right?
Right.
Works that way now, right? Well, it has to, because we have to pay her through we have to pay that through here.
Okay.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
We get a warrant, we sign a warrant to pay it. if I
Right.
Remember, the
So-
last one.
I don't know, he's based out of Texas, so I'm not sure. if
He's not
he'll be at this
driving on up.
meeting.
Probably gonna resume.
Is there times when you're available or we want to talk about it another time?
Yeah, I mean, you just can hammer out a day and time. I'll tell you if my calendar is good, because who knows, you know, today it's open, tomorrow it may not be by the time he decides. So are you looking, how soon you looking to do it?
Is morning.
I
better?
think Friday, but you girls don't work Friday.
No, well, Kathy,
Thursday, I mean, I don't know about this Thursday. I have a couple things on the planner already. I know that.
I don't know if we'd be that quick, maybe next.
Next
I don't
week?
know, I'd have to check and see what, he wanted me to give him a couple of days, but that was before I.
Which works better for you, John, morning or afternoon, at least narrow.
Myself, I like around 10 a.m. for my meetings. That way I'm awake enough, but not board enough. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Probably
Sounds
better
a great
for Kathy
time.
because Kathy-
9:30, 10. I said that
You
for
can
recruiting.
maybe turn it around at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
and then.
Which,
check the date.
which in Texas is 8 a.m. Right?
Right, so yeah, they're two. right.
Yeah, that's their problem. I like that. That's.
Business, you'll get up at the crack of dawn.
Next week, right now, 10 a.m. is open on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
There you go.
Perfect.
Let me know.
Okay. We'll see, I'm gonna ask questions and
Yeah. I'm gonna say, don't,
like that, I'm not sitting there taking numbers down.
no, and I
I don't
wouldn't,
have any more things to mess up, I mean,
yeah, if it's a straight, simple system where we can have a credit card machine here. You know,
Yeah.
it goes and it transfers it where it needs to go. Great. If it's not,
Point of sale.
if it's gonna be more of a headache than it's worth. We're no worse off if we say no. So. Right?
Yep.
You got a couple of things circled, do you?
Nope,
Nope.
I'm fine.
All right, unless you got more for us.
no, I'm hoping next
Does-
time we can set a tax rate, and we'll see what because it's coming out next week, I think,
Excellent.
so I'm hoping to do a tax rate.
Those are trustee numbers.
Oh, okay.
Other than that, I'm all set.
All right, perfect.
Thank you, Vera.
All right.
Have a great night.
So since Terry is here now and we have a forum from the previous meeting. Previous minutes. John, you had some corrections. So,
I make a motion to accept the prior meetings minutes as updated, corrected.
What were the updates?
A word missing here, a word missing there. I've applied to everyone.
Nothing
said
changing
and-
contents,
No.
just-
No. No, I was just making a sentence work.
yep. All right, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Yeah.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. 3-0, Tammy.
So can, under other, can we jump B up to,
Well, because he abstained because he wasn't at the last meeting. He said that before we voted, sorry.
can we jump B up into the current other so we can have our visitor?
I was just gonna say, well, we have a visitor. Can we take him first? But,
He's on the B.
all right,
Come on down.
I forget, what does MERP stand for again?
Municipal Energy Resiliency Program.
Oh.
Go ahead and hit the button, Alex.
For the,
For the buildings. Yeah, okay.
This is Alex, our grant writer.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
did you read the email?
Say hello, person since I hadn't
Yes.
been able to until this point. My wife's watching my son at home.
Oh, that's what.
Right, so I figured might as well enjoy the nice weather.
Come out with the sunshine.
So you're from,
I'm from, so I'm a resident here.
Oh, okay.
You guys approved my contract to help you with the.
oh, for the, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I think your name was John?
So,
I live over in Kings Hill Road.
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
So we received the email. Alex received one. I received a couple people forwarding me. Alex sent me as well as from the official. They are now opening MERP applications.
Yes, yes, so they're opening, there's a couple steps in the process from what I understand. The first step is an energy, they call it an energy assessment. And so essentially they send somebody out, look at the building's systems. There's a couple of different levels of assessment the towns could choose to apply for. The level one is like the most simplest one. It's kind of just like a walkthrough where they look at furnace, they look at HVAC systems, that sort of thing. Level two is much more detailed, where the town, and it's less work, it's more work for the town. They're asking for more documentation, like 3 years worth of energy bills and things like that. And the idea is if you would do that, then you would have a more detailed report coming out of it, more detailed assessment of the system. You might be able to apply for more other grants besides the MERP program.
That's what I was just gonna ask.
But they do say kind of in their guidance that the level one is probably going to be what most towns do, because it's less resources, less time for staff. Those sorts of things.
Yeah, it's a full assessment of all the buildings.
Right, and then I would anticipate that from there, once the assessment is done, then there, I think what I'm reading is there will be another application of asking for the implementation contract to actually replace the furnaces or repair them, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So the level two, can that be done through like Efficiency of Vermont? If we ask them to come in?
Town of St. Albans. So we have our district is assigned to St. Albans. We go down regional planning. Yeah,
Right.
regional planning. We have a representative down there and there's a URL. We fill out what we want and they interact with us. They'll send up the assessors and all, and that's covered. So there's two fundings here. So the initial funding is to pay for the assessments, right? And then the secondary funding, if I understood it appropriately, is up to $500,000 to make updates to aging buildings which are not energy efficient. Be that, LED lighting, a more efficient furnace,
Windows.
windows, whatever it may
Doors.
be. Yeah, sealing up areas, insulation, things like that. So the one thing at the meeting that they had said that I attended was, I had asked a simple thing. We have potentially 4 buildings and they say less is more, like less is more. Pick what's most important and stack rank it. And get them done that way. Like for instance, the town garage down here. I mean, that thing's an air, it's just to fix that, they'd have to almost reconstruct it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, but the library needs that door that we put off, things like that, the furnace that we put off due to waiting for MERP versus ARPA. We have things here and one person asked at the meeting, he said, what if we deem we don't want to use the current structure? We want a whole new building built. Each applicant has up to $500,000 to request. Doesn't mean you're getting it all, but you could literally build a new town hall.
Not for 500,000.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So that was the thought process behind it.
That back here.
The other, I'm sorry,
The furnaces need to be
That
replaced.
it's more
Just the
furnace
furnaces.
Building.
furnace, maybe some cooling in here, some insulation.
Insulation, yeah.
Things like that. The other thing is,
Tighten up the basement.
yeah, I totally lost that thought process. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nutshell.
So what you're recommending, John, is that we go through level one and don't necessarily attack the town garage at this point? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is we can add the garage. The thing is, we have $500,000 per se if we get the grant, to fix these things. But the other thing, just remembered, I'm sorry, they're only going to come assess once, which means we say this building, the 2 town garages and the library, somebody needs to be available on the time they're scheduled to come to take them to all locations. They're not going to wait. They said it's not going to be that kind of thing. They're going to come in, hit the buildings and go.
And you can in the application, you can prioritize, like if the town hall is the biggest priority, you can list that as one, library might be second, you know,
Yeah.
whatever, however you want to rank it.
Right. So we can attach the garages, it's just they may not
Okay.
get it funded.
Okay.
I would do town hall, library.
Garage.
Garage down here.
Yeah.
Old fire station.
We
Just
can't
take
do
it
the
out.
fire station.
We could just take the
We
north.
can't do
side.
the fire station. I asked about it. It is not a municipal building. That is,
No,
It's not-
the north station.
Sorry. Out of towners, I tell you.
Josh.
Not firehouse is a firehouse.
Just the north station.
North State, so town garage number 2. So, yeah, I agree. That's the kind of piece, but I wanted Alex come in if he could. To just introduce himself and tell you guys that we are about to start in the process, right, where it's going to incur us money.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Against the
I
grant
agree
funds
with
that-
Terry. I think we should probably for now just take the north station right off the list and.
Is
Stick
it
with the 3.
just, Mac, is there anything, I know when we were talking, I went down to the station earlier to answer some questions there, but, what, would that roof, did this include roof or was it just heating?
I don't know if it includes roof.
Because they, yeah, so
No, it's.
Down there, is it?
steel. General.
So can we budget that for next year and get it painted by us?
I don't think it's
That
not
could-
I don't think we're thinking paintable, because if he's saying it was leaking the way it is, I think you're gonna have to tear that steel off,
Okay.
look at the sub.
We could
I
get-
call it the subflooring, but the subroofing. And see how rotted that is, because it's what been. I don't think anybody's done anything to that in my lifetime. North Station,
Say since it's been built.
probably, yeah. And that was probably barn steel on somebody's old barn somewhere. I'm sure it wasn't, I'm sure it wasn't anything brand new
What we should do is get quotes.
to have it. right now.
That's
to see-
off the MERP subject, so.
I was curious if that was covered by MERP or if that would be something.
Roof is because it's really, unless you can prove that it's energy inefficient, which I technically, if.
It's not, it's like.
If he's going out your roof, then
That's an issue.
For the level 2, they're asking for architectural drawings and things, so
Level 2 is pretty in depth in my understanding and I think, talking to.
I don't
Mac
think you'd
and
find
Mac said
architectural
we
drawings
would
for any of these buildings.
I don't believe so.
Yeah. Oh, you did the smoke test to see where it goes and the
yeah, they
vacuum
did
holds.
that. What's that eye? What do they call that?
Infrared.
Infrared.
Yeah. My suggestion, personal preference or personal opinion, I think the level 1. Prioritize the way Terry said. This building, library, south station, north station. And maybe just throw that question out there, John, if roofs can be include, if that's part of it.
Right.
Because, you know, if it's gonna cost us 50,000 for a new roof and we can get it covered, then.
I didn't realize the roof was that bad. I mean,
I didn't either until we were talking today.
Alex, or are you going to fill out the request for the?
So based on our conversation,
Assessment.
my understanding is you were gonna do this assessment process. I'm
Yeah, pick
okay
it from
with
there,
that
right.
change though, when you and I could talk, and I mean. I've got the time now, my father's finally, his health is improving, so.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I can help if you need me to.
Yeah, because we're just paying you the hourly type thing out there, so just add into the hourly. I don't know if I can be up here and he's not gonna be able to open buildings, which means Mac. You're gonna need, when we get this whole thing going, you're gonna have to open up all 3 buildings and coordinate, we'll have to coordinate with the library. One of the folks from the library, because everybody has to be, it's a lot of moving parts and everyone has to be available. Because they're not sticking around.
Well, he has 3 of the 4 keys, so I mean.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He could take care of everything.
I wonder if we could, Tammy, can you get a hold of Nikki Cribb and see if we can get a spare key to the library just until the assessment is complete? That way there's no questions about it.
That's true, and then
We
Mac,
can have one here, and when Mac opens up the other 3 buildings, he can grab the spare key from here and open up the library if nobody's there. If somebody's there, great, give them their key back and we're done.
that's a good point. That's a very good point.
That way, there's no hunting around for people, just come and do.
right, so,
So regardless of whether or not you or I are filling it out, you're probably gonna have to be listed on the application just because
Right.
it's an authorized representative.
well, we just have to put that to a vote, that
Yep.
we authorize representative.
I make a motion that we authorize John West to represent the Bakersfield Town Select Board on the MERP assessment project.
I will second that. I think I can. Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor of John representing us for the MERP application process signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed?
Oh, abstaining since I was the one who.
Yeah, you can't vote on that. Vote passes 3-0.
Okay,
For the garage down here,
yeah, let's,
I'd be sealing.
yeah, I've got some stuff happening in the next couple days with that I have to focus on. So maybe Friday, you have time Friday?
The final deadline for like, this is in October,
Season.
so we have time, but
I want to do it as soon as possible. Yeah, get it in there early so that we make sure we're at the top of the list.
we gotta do something.
So my thought is, I have time Friday. Do you have time Friday?
it
If not,
depends.
next week I have time.
Yeah. It depends on the time,
All right.
on the morning would be best.
I think we texted. Have we texted? You have my phone number?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Okay, you give me a holler.
Yeah, Facebook Messenger.
Right, one or the other. Just tell me when you're available and we can work it out.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, Alex.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And nice seeing you face to face.
Glad I can make it.
I've seen you once before.
Yeah.
You were paying dog tag or something. I don't remember what it was.
See, Mac,
Hop in the seat.
You run it up here excited, Matt. Come on now. Come on down.
I got a call from. What did I tell you that guy's name was? Sean Coleman today, Northwest Regional.
Yep.
Asking if we had any washouts or needed any emergency assistance. So I went down and talked with Mac today and
For the same thing. I
Yeah.
Robert just asked me the same thing for some, must be some connection.
yeah, I called him back and said that we had just a couple of small washouts, nothing that was required any work, so. Any excessive
I
work.
think it's
Yeah.
going on Wednesday, so let's.
A couple
knock on some really-
Yeah.
some good wood.
Okay.
I have a question already.
Uh-oh.
Are we still getting why are we getting?
Yep,
another
that was, no, that
generator?
was kicked from last week. Yep.
Okay, okay.
And then we got the explanation and it got put on this bill.
Okay,
Because it wasn't gonna hurt anything by pushing it back one cycle. We were still gonna be within our 30-day pay.
Get
No.
Another,
No, this time I had to.
Yeah.
okay,
Anything to report on the roads? Obviously, we're watching the weather, hoping that stays south.
Where it is.
And
Right now, the radar looks like it's going towards St. Albans, more than it's coming here. It looks like it's splitting, so.
well, that's good for,
the south is really bad. Did
yeah.
you See the news,
Berry.
Waterbury,
Barry. Ludlow.
Waterbury,
Well,
Barry, Montpelier, Northfield, they're evacuating people.
it's like 6 inches of rain of water going down.
Oh, yeah.
Main Street in Berry.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those chunks of asphalt.
They had one house, it was a log cabin with like a little garage off the side of it, and it's like up to the windows.
Yeah,
Different people,
Oh,
same
it's bad.
message.
I see,
It's so scary.
it was it
It's the worst.
the Ludlow store? Well, I think I was telling you, there was a picture and there's two cars and all you can see is like the roof rack and the paint color through the dirty water, but. So we've got no issues there then. Water right now is good.
Time when we look.
But I tell you, the creek in Fairfield,
Very high.
big difference from this morning
Is that-
tonight. Oh,
Is that-
when I went by this morning, I was like,
Yeah, it wasn't high at all.
be really, and now it's up to the bank.
Oh, it is, okay.
So it
Thank you.
raised a lot today.
The river in Cambridge was extremely brown all weekend because they got more over that way.
Yeah.
but, I think so, that and.
The creek.
The creek that goes through East Fairfield.
Oh, that comes down through in.
Black Creek.
Waterfall.
Black Creek, yeah.
That's the road.
Yeah, I know,
Up
When
to
you
the
see-
banks, up to the banks. This morning it was low. It
Yeah.
wasn't even up to,
There's a couple of places where the bank and the road are pretty close to the same height, so,
I bet it'll be close.
Winooski River is overflowing
yeah.
and coming up over the breaker or over the concrete. I mean, I drove by that on the way home. I was shocked. I'm wondering how Milton's doing because they have that big
Yeah.
water mass there right next to where there isn't much. There's not much already.
Right, yeah, but they can control the flow out of that.
Damn.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Think today, it's like,
Um,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
so
We shouldn't have to buy any for a while.
It's
That's right in between the two dams.
I know, isn't that true?
So we've got,
It's all week.
yeah,
Wednesday could, yeah,
Well, it's supposed to,
Across Route 7 right there, it's their town barrack.
Maybe some funny
Yeah.
breaks, maybe. But there's another batch of good heavy stuff coming through first thing in the morning.
well, just be thankful it's not snow.
runs off the mountains.
I know. My sister said, my sister lives in Brookfield. And she said, if we'd have got this in snow last night, woke her up in the middle of the night. It was raining so hard.
Trucking someplace.
Yeah, that's what they said on the news.
Couldn't find the 7 feet.
Right?
That would have been crazy.
Good for the ski area.
Yeah, everybody up on the mountain.
Got there,
So we,
What's the Northwest Regional Planning Grants and Aid Construction Program?
but we asked them to assist us in grants and stuff like that last year, and that was.
Bill.
Oh, okay, this was for them to help.
Yeah. The yearly bill.
Gotcha.
so Mac, do we want to talk equipment or do we want to wait and see if we can get,
Don't wait till we do the demos.
okay, wait till after the demos? Okay. Just looking at the finances, and this question goes out to everybody. In the new equipment, how much did we transfer from ARPA?
175, I think.
Okay,
About 1/3.
I thought,
It was the estimate, I'm sorry, 130 for week, 135,
I think in the balance went to.
the 45 went to grant fund.
right, so I was just curious because it shows us here at 254.
right,
And I was wondering if any of that is allotted for anything in particular at this point.
Josh,
That's budgeted into your road account straight in.
we moved 130 into the new equipment and 45 into general. That's
Okay,
what I have in
perfect.
my notes.
So 130 out of, okay. Well, I'm just curious if. You know, with 254 in there, I was getting nervous with the prices that I was seeing here
Right.
and. Knowing that that's just the equipment, that doesn't include a trailer. But if we have. Another 120,000, which
We
makes
reimbursed-
sense.
We reimbursed the 120 from the
From the
grader,
Yep,
right?
yep.
So we took 120 out and then we used 120 reimbursement from ARPA and then we moved 130 in from ARPA. So.
Okay. Nope, just double checking. I wasn't sure if we'd put money in there to cover something else at that point. Okay. Terry asked the question. Going along with MERP, what would the town garage down here need? I know. I told her, I said, I was down there today and we were looking at some of the stuff and I couldn't give you the,
well, my follow-up with it was. Is it worth fixing? Or have we thought about building a new on
The problem with the new.
by Hazen?
All the other ones that you see, the towns that are doing it, they're talking $3-4 million garages.
Yeah.
Because of all of. I mean, I'd love to see it, but. You know. Yeah,
Is that how much Fairfield costs?
that was up there like that,
Wow.
and
But don't you think they're oversized, some of them?
some of them are.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely bigger than we need, yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger inside. and
But
trucks, you
A
know,
lot of
it's
it's,
there.
a lot of it is stuff that you don't see. If we applied for a grant or a loan to do it, we're gonna be required to put in grid oil separators,
Yeah.
septic systems and that are up to date and
Yeah.
that underground stuff that you don't see adds up real quick.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I was just curious. Instead of nickel
Right.
and diamond that's something that's still a piece of crap.
I agree.
well, because like today I asked,
Big bullet and get something that people can actually work out of.
it's,
What you, and I don't know, I never researched it, these steel buildings, you see these pre-builts, are they more economical?
they probably are. The problem, I wouldn't say problem, the additions that you would have on those after erecting the steel building is insulating, electrical, your plumbing, because a lot of those steel buildings are, yeah, they're $70,000, but it's just steel frame and
Yeah,
siding.
the steel buildings these days, they have interlocking panels that are steel inside, steel outside. It's not very thick,
Yeah,
but they're foam insulation
okay,
in between and they're tongue and groove. That's how we built our new building at Camp Recap.
okay.
And the walls you see, they're 20, almost 30-foot walls. And they are single panels and they brought them in and just interlocked them, bolted them from the inside. Yeah.
So that, yeah, that may be something to look into then, John.
It wasn't
Well,
cheap.
I just don't know if it.
No, but it's not gonna be, I mean,
3 million.
everything is gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, do we pay, Joe Carpenter down the street to build it? Or do you have something like that that's prefabbed and clicked together and realistically, you've got the site work and then these guys come in and bang, and you've got a garage in 2 weeks, It's,
You also need concrete, right?
Oh, yeah.
Floor. You gotta.
you'd have to have a concrete floor. That's where,
Worse, the
Lance was talking, you'd need a sludge tank where everything that drips off the truck or
Yeah.
gets washed off the trucks or equipment all has to go to this settling pond tank so that and that has to be,
Right, we
Yeah.
have one in our
yeah,
garage.
yeah.
It's like a drain.
So it may be pretty
They
expensive.
come clean it out.
Am I hearing expensive?
So often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, some of those towns are quite elaborate, but.
I mean, it's a great idea and I think it's something worth looking into, especially if we get the reappraisal or the assessment done on this building and they just kind of laugh at us. Which very well could happen because, I mean, realistically, you can throw a cat under the door down there because.
The dirt.
He actually did some down there and
Why bother?
he wasn't that bad, what he saw wasn't that bad, but. Since then, I mean, the doors are that much older.
Yeah.
Windows has never been, and there's only 4 windows in that place, so it's not like there's a big expense there. The doors is the biggest thing. Like I said today, we gotta open the door manually, walk over, get your truck, go back out, shut the door, I mean, by the time you do that, you lost all any building
Yeah,
Mhm.
with 3 doors.
yeah,
Yep.
Automatic door opener would be,
Yeah.
that'd be really nice if they could. That would help save.
Well,
stuff.
how hard is that to do? We did them ourselves. at
Right,
the-
right.
Because we didn't have them either,
yeah,
but we bought our own and
We got the one big door that would take probably industrial type, it's quite heavy. But there's, I think all 3 doors actually have dents in them where the things have separated so you can see through them.
They might have been bumped here and there. And
well, I mean, I was down there today, well, I was not today even, it was when I helped you guys haul in stone that day. And I was like, yeah, I'll hop in truck, Marky goes, I'll back the truck out,
Okay.
and I was like, drove truck before, I know it. I'm glad he backed it out, because you got about this much on one side, about that much on the other. It's,
the truck go ding, 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 the whole,
Oh, yeah.
the whole time I'm backing up because I'm
Yeah.
getting close to the side.
so, I mean,
No kidding.
is there some,
That guy helped with because the shape of the building.
Right.
Couldn't make the doors any wider.
would you think that we need, if we're gonna do this, how many bays do you need? I mean, are you gonna put a grader and load in there too?
I would,
I would go 5.
I would go.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big thing, as long as you got the north station, this one, you can keep the smaller, the chipper, the sprayer, you just keep that all in that kind of building, or if it was long enough, you could put it in front of the new building.
Mhm.
Again, I won't be here then. So. Do what you.
You might be.
You might be.
You'd be paying attention.
Comfy chair, you might decide to stay.
Paying the taxes, my friend.
Because I say you'll still be paying taxes on it, so,
That's true.
It's fine. I don't think that's right, that's right. No, but that's a good point, is I wonder if that land over there is, if it can be permitted for that.
You have to go through the process, I'm sure, it'd be just a matter of what. 10 acres or whatever is on that deed for that trailer,
Well,
We can
that's,
Put it in further, but we
I
really.
mean, that time's running out on that,
Where's this? I'm sorry.
Scribner's old house.
Oh, that's, we'll just have to run that through the planning commission, get a change, CUP. Change of use permit.
Which I mean, for the town should be fairly easy.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's town property.
yep.
Um,
And is there, and we might find, no, it's not even
Right.
Well, the thing is
touchable.
if this MRF,
No, if you don't look into it.
if this MRF goes good. And Alex, you know. Is everything we're hoping he is as a grant writer, then, you know, a $2-3 million garage.
well, we do know that Fairfield for one and most of the other towns that I know of did get grants.
Absolutely. So I mean,
Some of them, I did covered some of them, yeah.
well, yeah,
Quite chunky, but- Yeah.
Anything you can get, it'll help.
Oh, absolutely.
but I mean. I hate to say this, but with the,
Well, and
with the,
you might have to downsize to what your grant is too.
you know,
Yeah.
Right.
but with, you know, the gravel pit loan coming off. And this ARPA money helping out with some of the other expenses that we talked about.
Mhm.
It may be time to upgrade some of our structures,
We got 1 year left on the gravel pit.
right?
No,
No, I thought it was one payment, yeah.
It's done this year.
I'm pretty sure this is it.
Yeah.
This is the last payment,
Okay,
because I think we
I
looked into
don't
it
have-
before we started the budget.
Yeah,
Didn't we?
This one?
yeah.
so I mean,
That's what, 30, is that 30 once a year or 30 once a year?
Hmm?
30 once a year.
Once a year, I think it is,
I think they pay on it twice, but it's. and,
a total of,
out of each tax year.
yeah,
I think is how it worked. So along with that. Man, it's pretty known throughout the town that people are stealing from the town garage down there.
The stone, yeah, they pretty much openly
So.
discussed it on
what are we gonna
Facebook.
do about it? We know, people know who's doing it, who has done it.
okay,
I think. My personal opinion is they get sent a bill for the stone.
Put the camera up and that way there's no.
You gotta have proof first.
Right.
Everyone on Kings Hill Road watched it all happen.
Yeah.
Are they-
I mean, I've seen a guy come in there with a little lawnmower, and a little cart, he got actually the ground. And he did come over when I was right there and asked me, is this okay? And I said, gravel, yes, the stones, no, so, you know, because gravel.
Comes from the pit.
Yeah, and doesn't really cost, I mean, that stone costs.
Right.
you
yeah,
know,
Well, and we're not talking, they went down and took a 5-gallon pail of stone.
I heard.
They took 5 to 7 loads from with their bucket.
And
That's-
They need to pay for it. I'm
did it go
sorry.
up, back up Kings Hill?
Yep,
So it's not the first time that's happened. If
No,
it
last
was-
time it was sand.
Was it sand? I'm not so sure it was,
Where's it going? Kings?
yeah, well,
Uh,
if it's where I think it is, maybe this is a,
It could be a different event.
It's
certainly not the first time that material's been taken from
No,
that, you know, there has been several occasions.
I haven't gone to research, but because I didn't have time, but I will. It's not gonna be too hard to figure out where it went.
right,
We know it's on that road and they need to pay for it.
agreed,
I'm sorry.
cost some taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Not gonna get it for two.
right,
No, they shouldn't get it for free. Cause how do you stop the next guy that comes in and says, well, I just want a bucket load?
He did it.
yeah.
When you just let somebody take 6 bucket loads.
Yeah.
Did you find it in there? No, okay,
I think they should be
not a big deal.
build/fine.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
stealing.
Probably
Let's
not
get real
doing
estate.
the best
Here's one,
job
let's do it,
looking
get
at
it
trying to
stealing.
listen to the conversation at the same
Yeah.
time, so.
Trail camera on that pole or something, but
Yeah,
put it up high so they don't notice it. At least it'll give you a-
I think.
not-
Right.
I don't have to hide it.
Well, I mean, well, and that's the thing though, is we shouldn't have to hide it.
And
I
you have
mean-
the same problem with salt. most of the time, too.
Yeah.
You have people who are.
Help themselves.
Full, but, you know,
I mean, a lot of towns leave a small pile outside their gated area,
That's what,
right, sand.
that's what the pile that they're taking out of, that's the gravel next to the stone.
Right,
That's most of
and
the
that's
thing.
one thing. They're going up and maybe getting a 5-gallon pail
Right, even the back of the pickup, you know,
or the back of a pickup,
we usually just take the chunks of out of the thing, run it through, and it's chunky, but
right,
people are happy.
right,
I mean, yeah,
but
when
For some
driveways go
people,
bad.
it was stone that we've paid for, not acceptable.
No,
What do you got there?
It was just one.
Something else? Right.
Something else.
That's my
Um,
book. You're not taking.
So, the other thing we talked about today was the, telecom, not telecom,
fitting.
Fidium.
Mark got fitting at his place. I know this is commercial versus
Oh.
residential.
Yep.
You got the 50 megabytes or whatever, the small one. I think he said it was $50 and his phone was $20. I think if you look on that one, it's, I think the phone for that area, the suite, is 60 odd thousand. I mean, I think it's
Excellent.
worth looking into getting a video. We talked about the internet. down there.
Interest 37, so
Like,
if that doesn't give us a balance on
Somebody
the.
was coming back, you know, come up here. Could be right.
So this is
What's the
just,
address
phone.
here?
That's
This is just phone.
That's
It's
all we have right now.
88.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
expensive. Mac, what's the address of the building?
Just for phone.
203 East Bakersfield Road.
That was
Last
I
year.
know it's right. We're pretty right there.
last year. That was the beginning of the year balance.
I mean, I just had him look it up down to their house and the gig was 70.
That's a 60. That is a 60, isn't it?
So we do have next year too.
Supposedly.
So we do have next year too.
No, this is 2 payments, 30.
Oh, okay. Yep. Well, that's what it is, the interest payment
The first year.
and the principal payment.
Right,
yeah, okay.
So what do we have here for consolidated?
That would be the internet, the telephone.
No, the internet is.
With Comcast, with
Okay.
Comcast.
Okay, so this is just the phone, 120 here.
Yeah,
Just.
So according to Fidium,
probably, there's probably
Consolidated
phone and fax.
is 120.
Which would,
Oh, right, we get
Yeah.
a fax machine here.
they don't have 203 East service at 203 East Bakersfield Road. Fidium.
They don't have service?
Well, I just typed in 203 East Bakersfield Road.
Can't they have to go past it to get to Waterford Road?
Well, maybe that's saying that they don't service there, meaning we don't have an account there.
No, this is they're checking if they have service in the area. I mean, we'd have to look at it more deeply.
Man, as much wire as they ran, I don't see how they would.
I'm saying it's Fairfield, maybe because it's showing up as Fairfield? No, Fairview. No, sorry.
It'd be worth a call just to see what it is.
Tammy, would you be willing to call
Please.
Fidium, get the information from Matt? Call and see how much Wi-Fi and phone.
It's an issue.
I do, yep.
Business.
Well, like when I was down there today, the simple thing of checking the weather.
Right.
We were talking about the rain and whether or not, it was gonna get worse or anything. I did the same thing. Never mind. I put it back in my pocket and Mike's like, well,
Also with that, if you get internet down there, you can also get security.
yep.
Yep.
The
You
other,
can put cameras up that would go right to Mac's phone.
I have the ring and I love it.
Monthly on that.
You have to ask my wife. Sorry. It's not bad.
And Seth have it through Comcast.
Yep. Probably set up their own system.
Right, and
Yeah.
it's right on their phone. They can see everything up there
I
for
can
my
do,
house.
I can do that too. I can pull up my house right now and it's kind of handy. The ring
It's not-
ring system is, the only thing I wonder about that one, Terry, is if it's stored. Or how it's stored. If you get the ring, you pay a subscription. And all of the activity is stored on the Ring's cloud. So you can pull up whatever on your phone. But if something were to happen, your phone dies or something, Ring still has all that information and you can get it from the company.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know how I know there's a lot of cameras, but
I have more at the sugar house, and you buy the system, you don't pay anything extra for it. and it stores it on the hard drive they send you with it.
Yep. The other thing we were talking about
Yeah.
today while we were down there is, Marky brought up the point that with all the, wastewater, or not wastewater, but all the runoff, stormwater runoff, every time he ditches or grades or does anything that has to do with stormwater runoff, he's supposed to document that on the state website.
Yep.
And he goes, he goes, what'd he say? He goes, I'm probably 6 months behind.
Oh, yeah.
Because he goes, the only time he can do that is if he comes up here and nobody's using the computer and he can sit down and go on their website and log it on. So
Or excuse, Marky, no one's here on Fridays.
it's true. But if somebody drove by and saw Marky sitting up here on a Friday, they'd be like, what the heck's he doing?
I know, I'm just picking on him.
And like, we were talking, you don't really need a laptop, you don't need a laptop.
You don't need a laptop.
Tower type thing, you know, the old fashioned type thing.
Desktop, yeah.
If you could.
I can probably give you one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you can guarantee me you can wipe my memory clean on one of my old ones, I've got a couple of them there.
Same.
What do
That's
you,
easy enough.
what do you got on there, Mac, that you don't need?
No, the banking, banking.
No, I
that
know.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I know.
same.
Ah, God, I love it, Mike, pick that up. Dan's hilarious, wait for the comment coming up. Just format the drive to ground zero, that's all.
Okay, because I've got, I think, 2 old gateways and it's got the monitor and stuff.
Gateways, Jesus, that's like 2004.
I got an old.
I don't know if we can hold.
But I have to say-
There's 10 on it.
And I told him you can probably pick up, I think the last time I did one at school, I bought the modem
Yeah,
for dirt cheap, because, you know, nobody uses those anymore. And then I picked up a TV for a monitor,
yeah.
and then you could,
I saw.
then even Mac and Dan could read what was on the screen.
That's awesome. I can look in the
Dan's up there, yeah, Dan did the same thing.
cleaned equipment at work, see if there's something there.
Yeah.
I'll look at the reclaimed equipment.
How do you get everything off?
You do a format, you literally do a full low level format. It just deletes everything, takes it down to ground zero like an empty
Yeah,
drive.
that's what I mean.
For mine, like,
If you don't want your equipment anymore, if you're getting rid of it, you just take the hard drive out and smash it with a hammer or a sledgehammer. They're not getting anything off of that. That's how you do it. Or if you had a huge
I
magnet.
don't
you
even know
could
how to
house
find the
it.
hard drive.
Just take everything out and inside.
yeah, everything's smashed with a hammer.
We actually, we actually do that at work. When we pull a drive, we take it out in the parking lot, smash it with a sledgehammer.
Give it a step and tell them to beat crap.
So, yeah, tell them to get that stress out.
So you call Fidium, and you'll have numbers for us at the next meeting.
Shoot it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Should, yeah, you just gotta put a hole through it somehow,
Uh-huh.
crack it.
All right, yeah,
All right,
I mean,
we've released our anger.
my feeling is,
Looking up who stole the stone and then we're billing them.
Yeah,
my feeling with the Wi-Fi. If it's like you say, if it's $70 a month for phone and internet,
Door.
I would say it's worth doing. Because we're already paying 60, we can cancel consolidated as long as we can keep our phone number.
Yeah, but that's.
I think the deal
Yeah, you
with
can
video
port it.
right now is $56.
usually you can port it before you cancel it.
With a phone system.
So,
Told John.
Of course, it goes up next year.
If you have internet and everybody had a cell phone, you wouldn't need a phone call.
Right. You just need cell service up here.
There's 2 people, well, no, you do internet calling, which.
You can't unless the power's out. That's why I still have a landline at my house,
Yeah.
That one doesn't work.
so I can call the power company, and go, my power's out.
so
I'm paying a fortune to go every like 3 times a year, and the power's out up here, it's Bakersfield,
3 times a year.
3 or 4,
Barry.
nice.
crazy.
Yeah, I got the same problem. When the power goes out, I don't have cell service because I don't.
Yeah. Anything else for the road?
No, not I.
I got nothing. Okay. Thank you. Treasurer position update, we're still nothing.
Oh, I did have something on them.
Okay,
Close that section.
go push your button.
I forgot what you said for Taylor and Seth to do with that culvert.
Mark went up there mowing roadside one day, they were, last, whatever it was, they.
Oh, okay.
he mowed it. They were up there working on the ditch by the sap shack. They were doing a nice little ditch, cleaning out the other thing. They went up above and they did exactly what Todd and I and everybody talked about, just took the culvert out, put a swale there, and of course it wasn't a lot of water running today, but it was coming down, or down the ditch. It was working perfect.
Okay, all right, perfect.
It's good news.
Yep.
Warrants and reports have all been signed.
I got this one.
Oh, sorry, what is the question here?
That's the signs for the golf course.
Signs for the golf course. Do-do-do, do-do-do.
Like I said, did show up the other day.
They were here
Okay.
at the last meeting.
Yep, oh,
Back
that,
door.
that's right, you did tell me that they were at the back door instead of the front door.
Called him up today, I said, so what's the deal with these things? And he said, oh, they got delivered on blah, blah, blah. Shipped out of here, drove on and said to Mark, I think they can't be there. He walked halfway for rent, no, they're not there. Then he said, well, I better look. Came up literally against the door.
Oh, man.
So,
Been
And-
there for-
and I guess we weren't,
Answer,
we
'cause
weren't,
Todd's not here.
right, and we weren't done with roads either because Mac, you did look into,
I-
you did look into adding the crosswalk.
Yeah, quite complicated.
So correct me if I'm wrong, I'll try to rephrase what you said. So in order for them to have a legal crosswalk, the speed limit has to be below, I think you said 35 or below.
Below 30, but it depends upon a lot of different things. I can send this to you. It's 59 pages. A lot of it has nothing to do with that. And this is not for strictly for a golf course. It's just a pedestrian crossing. And they call for 6 signs to start with.
One,
Pedestrian with a little arrow down. Down in Williston, I noticed the other day they had just past the golf course, they got 2 or 3 crosswalk. They have a pedestrian crossing sign on both sides of the road, on both sides of the both directions.
Directions, right?
Yeah, and it's the same signs I got today. I mean, basically the FedEx, but it doesn't have the arrow pointing down. But
so my only question is, do you think Carl or Dana would be willing to come in and talk?
I think it's Carl and Jordan, to tell you the truth. Oh,
Okay, or either of them.
I'm sure.
And maybe, I guess what I'm asking is, would you be willing to, or ask Todd to ask Carl to come to the next meeting? Just so we can get this all hammered out. I have no problem talking with Todd, but from a, I don't want to say legal standpoint, but from a fairness and equity standpoint, if we have somebody sitting on the end of our 5-man board arguing for the person that would theoretically be sitting over there.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
I would not get in the conversation
Oh.
either.
Oh, because of, okay. I just, you know what I'm saying?
There.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. You know what I'm saying, though, is it would,
Yeah,
just, we don't need to go down one of those rabbit holes. I think that would be a big pain in the ass. But we have his access permit for a third car crossing. 8 to 9 tenths.
so where's the pedestrian crossing?
All 3 of them would be pedestrian crossings. Technically.
Because they're
Yeah.
just, yeah,
So theoretically, the first thing that would have to happen is they would have to petition to lower the speed limit.
Right.
And this is the conversation we'd have with Carl too, or Jordan. They would have to petition to lower the speed limit. They would have to get X number of signatures. I can't remember. Kathy can tell you exactly how many. We'd have to have a hearing on that, get the speed limit lowered. Then we can approve the crossing. And one of the things that I thought may be easier or better is if it was a seasonal speed limit. You know, May to October, something along those lines, you know, when the golf course is open. Have a 35-mile-an-hour zone.
May this year, didn't they?
Yeah, well, and
well,
Technically,
usually
he has an opening date though, you know what I mean?
April 15th, they open.
Is that what it is? Okay.
whatever they open.
I mean, it depends on the weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've still got snow. I mean, they've been open on New Year's Day before, not legally, but you know, or not.
Well, we
not
used to
legally,
do, Rudy used to do,
no golf.
Snow golf,
No.
yeah. So I mean,
tennis ball.
there's just a bunch of.
Well, the problem we have is two of those are already approved.
Right,
Yep.
Right.
yep.
We
Um,
don't really have them.
I don't have a problem with the third one, it's just signage and that kind of stuff.
so, yeah, so those two technically would be, I guess you'd call it grandfathered in. Because the stipulations that are now coming from the state are coming after. But I think what we need to do is we need to have. That book that Mac had the other day from when it was original Wolf Run. You know, because I don't even know if Carl or Jordan have ever seen that, you know.
I doubt it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it'd just be nice, I think, if everybody was on the same page.
The permit can wait for the same thing, if they're using it now, it's not a.
Yeah, it's. Oh, there we go.
Well, and the fact that, I mean, sit on that deck on a Friday night, it's unbelievable how fast the traffic is on that road. I mean, it's bad here on Main Street.
Oh, yeah, but the people that do that, they actually brag about it, you know?
If you get on Button Post and look out.
But with this, with the 40-mile-an-hour speed limit, they also say they have to have a 305-foot distance of sight. As you're coming out of your approach.
305.
300. Don't ask me.
Over 100 yards.
Well, the issue is the one crossing, the unapproved crossing is at a peak of a road. So you've got blind spots coming up one side or over the other, depending upon which way the traffic's going.
Right, but the person or vehicle crossing the road
Yeah.
is where they're talking. They're not
Yeah.
saying, you know, when you put in a driveway, it's not, can somebody see you? It's, can you see them? So you could have a driveway on top of that hill as long as you can see in both directions.
I don't disagree. However, I've already made the point before that the golf carts just jet out into the roadway.
Oh, without a doubt.
So that's problematic to begin with. And with somebody doing 50 miles or even 40 or 35.
I don't think anyone on there is doing 50
Dave,
or 35.
I actually watched my speedometer the last 3 times.
Or Jordan, I don't care, I don't know who owns it anymore, don't care. Whoever owns it might consider getting those little stop sign, trail stop signs for both
Just like
sides of the road.
He's got one.
For-
I was gonna say, I think they have one, don't they?
Just,
On that.
yeah,
All three of the places.
Well, it would theoretically, it would only be one side because it'd only be a one-way traffic. Theoretically, you should only be coming from, if you're heading towards Bakersfield, you should only be coming from the right-hand side, crossing to the left.
But like the lawnmowers get done, sometimes they do.
Correct.
And we're only talking a little plastic. sign.
Yep,
yeah.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
just
I just,
remind the pedestrians to stop and look.
yep.
Just you
I
want-
think there's a lot of, there's a lot of different issues.
Yeah.
Um,
you wanna get-
you're right, people do shoot out of there.
Shoot out.
I might or might not be guilty of that, depending on what hole I start at, but.
Only takes once.
Right, exactly.
Somebody coming down that road, flying or not,
Yep,
35 hitting a golf course.
or as we spoke earlier, you know, a 70,000 pound manure truck
Huh?
that isn't gonna stop, you know,
They're not gonna stop on a dime.
so it's just,
Yeah, they're better, but they still travel fast too.
they do.
Way too fast.
Yep, yep,
They're part of the culprit that's going by there that's.
And they are the ones that, the first time it got lowered and said, no, that's not happening. There's gonna be their drivers to get picked up. Not that there's any enforcement, but.
Right, they're gonna get that coming.
well, I can,
Well, it'd be
Speaking of-
worse if their drivers hit somebody.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
That's why I still don't think that top opening should be there. Figure a different way to get people across the road. Make a trail through the side of the course, something, but that top. opening is
one
gonna-
are you talking?
The illegal opening.
See, now, I would-
I don't know which ones. Honestly, I don't remember which ones. are
So
legal,
you've
so.
got what, two with the ponds?
As a worker,
Yeah.
it's that top one
Yeah.
And then
by far.
coming up over the hill.
The one
Yeah.
that gets into
It's there now.
Heading north.
Now,
Well,
John-
Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying now.
John, I
deadly. Well, not deadly, it's deadly.
I hear what you're saying. From a vehicle standpoint,
Mhm.
okay? Now, I would be more than willing to ride with you. on a golf cart, and I'm sure Carl would be willing to let us use one. So that you could see from the golf cart side, the better vision you have there than you do per se at the bottom of the hill at the golf cart, at the country club entrance. Because when you're there, the only thing you can see on a golf cart is from there to the top of the hill. There's nowhere near 305 feet of vision of, this south. You can see all the way to Brigham's. Well, not really. You can see all the way to the service building there. But on top of that hill,
You can see.
you have a better line of sight. You really do.
I'm not someone getting hurt. I'm really concerned someone gets hurt.
Right.
I don't care if they have 20 openings.
Yeah.
My concern is someone gets hit and then we've got, and we have someone dead.
Right, and what I'm saying is from the person that has crossed that road many times on a cart, that is the safer crossing than the lower one. It may not look it from.
Use it all the time now. I never use the bottom one.
I
I always use the
I'm
top
just-
one because I can see so much better. The
Uh,
bottom one, you basically stop and listen.
I agree with Josh and I agree with John both. I'm just gonna make this statement. If we as a select board approve one and somebody is hurt there. And it doesn't meet these specifications exactly, we would be open to a lawsuit.
Right,
Oh,
I just want to-
absolutely.
so
that.
with the,
But we've already approved the worst one.
it's very true.
You know, that was even before, Wolf Run was even before my time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
On the side.
Slide.
On the sled, yeah.
I was gonna say, not before your time is,
No, my time on the sled.
yeah.
So I'm sure the state rules and regulations were different then too.
And I wonder,
I mean, that's been,
I honestly wonder if, Carl or Jordan or whoever was to come in and we were to talk to them. I wonder if they would be willing to go instead of having the third access. If they would remove that lower access, which is, in my opinion, the most dangerous one,
Right.
and still limit it to two and have it be the one by the pond, by the service house or service building, and the one on top of the hill. And like I said, I'm more than willing to take you up there and show you that.
Yeah, the vision's good.
gets used hardly at all.
And I think that would be, it's an easy one to remove because you can go out through the other way and,
By workers,
yep,
but golfers, cause you're not coming, you're going to the top of the hill.
right.
And you're gonna go over to 13, 14, 15,
Yep.
you know,
So that's where I think if we could reach out to
That's
Carl and have him come to the next meeting. Yeah.
at that.
So
entrance.
Tammy, would you be willing to take that information off here? Off this access and put out and it would be, what's today? 10th, so the 24th.
24th.
I think I am here that day, actually, so. If you could extend an invitation to Carl Stone and or Dana Cattell or Jordan. And again, I don't really have a problem with Todd pleading his case. I just don't feel him on this side of the table pleading the case is the way that should happen. And it'd be the same if it was Lance asking for something over there at the farm. I think it's a good way to get us all in a heap of trouble. Now, as far as the road signs for there,
Yeah, well, who approved the road signs for there? I don't remember a meeting. We did a vote.
did?
we did, yeah.
Did a vote to
Yeah.
approve them for there, then we should pay for them.
We approved to purchase them, yep.
The only thing wasn't that thing, it said golf course was to maintain them.
Right, we didn't know that.
Right.
You didn't know that. The golf course didn't know that. At that point in time, correct me if I'm wrong. At that point in time, we assumed the signs were our responsibility. So we voted to do it.
Worst comes to worst, if the town paid for it, and then ask Carl if he go half on it or something.
I don't know that we can, since this agreement wasn't made with
Current owners.
the current owners, it
Yep.
was made with the Wolf Run people, I can't remember his name. I should, but I don't. And I don't know if we can hold them to that agreement. I would look, huh?
I believe so, because they purchased the property with the stipulations of the agreement. Like if you buy something with an easement on it, you know, you can't then turn around and go, I don't want this
Excuse
easement.
me.
So I think so, but to your point, you know,
I would doubt
I
him
think
to
we
have
should
a
hold on to the signs. We obviously should pay for them, and we should present to them that we have these signs. That, you know, if they wish, that $584.
It obviously needs signage.
Yeah.
One way or another, it needs signs. People go up.
Oh, no, hold them in a holding.
We can petition.
No, it's-
What does the sign say exactly?
So I saw them today.
Say golf course ahead, they're smaller, like there's one by Jerry, but the new one with the reflectivity. One of them, two of them have the pedestrian symbol, and two of them have little golf cart with a golf bag in the back, so you could put like
Alright.
golf carts on one of them, pedestrians on the other crossing, if they're willing to do away with one of the crossings.
I think
I think what we do right now,
Other than-
assuming we're gonna sign this and we're gonna pay for them. There's no point in buying a road sign that we're not gonna put up. That just, I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Todd did say you would put them up.
Okay,
I can bring-
so my thought would be, yeah, the golf course ahead ones. Top of, by Jerry Brigham's and back, I'd say by the Christmas tree farm.
I would put
On
the
the,
golf course ahead. The other two,
Yeah.
you should put where the crossings are.
right, and then I would put the cart one at the top of the hill.
Because the most they have to do then, if would be put the arrow on it,
Yeah,
even if they don't put paint across walks, they're like.
and you could put the pedestrian one down by the clubhouse,
The.
the shop, yeah. I think that covers us as far as signage and,
Yeah.
I mean, it encompasses
Are there two each?
technically all three of the crossings.
Are there two each pedestrian and golf carts?
To each of all three of them, yes.
Okay,
I don't think we should put anything on the third crossing until it gets through the process.
I agree.
It's not a legal crossing. We shouldn't be marking it as
Third
such.
crossing?
Yeah,
Let's not give them the signs until after we've had a meeting with Carl or
right.
Dana or.
Okay.
For the signs, because we ordered them, but from that perspective only. Otherwise, I wouldn't pay for the signs at all.
That way we'll get,
They could change the one by Brigham's.
Yeah.
There's one, like you said, you could put it there. Past the other one, there is a sign that, before this,
Before Jerry's or before by the tree farm.
yeah, there's one in that hill.
Okay.
Up there, so I mean, if you put the golf course ahead, you'd be warned at least that way.
Yep.
Yeah, if we don't want to put signage by the third one because it's not approved there, that's fine.
Yeah. That way, if they decide to take, not use that third access by the clubhouse entrance, they could move into the.
I was gonna say, that being said, could we, in that case, put one over the hill?
there is-
That way it encompasses the two crossings that are there.
I would put golf course ahead.
Yep.
At the top of the hill or on the one side of the hill. I would not mark that third opening until we.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is it, should we mark the other two openings? There is something.
They haven't sold out.
Oh.
But. if-
Don't tell them about it.
If you put an old fashioned sign and they don't like it, then it's not shining.
Not shining.
But if
Yep.
you gave them the golf course ahead for, replace the one by Jerry, put the new one down, like say by the tree farm or something.
Yep. Okay.
What can we do to prevent the stealing? How about are they showing up with like zagzaws or whatever reciprocating saws and cutting it? The post short,
That's what they're doing. They're taking. the
so
saw
it's not a security nut thing problem.
No. And
What about grease?
Joey was trying grease, and we've tried grease before, it does help. But with Sawzall, if the sign starts here, and you grease
Yeah.
from there down, they just cut it off right there, throw it back, or it's right in the ground.
Have we had a lot of signs stolen
We did
lately?
Not.
So did they get that out of their system? I mean, is it?
I've never seen one, I think it's, like you say, it's the,
Generational.
yeah, if you go with the senior class, man. Things like that. I think it's.
Senioritis.
I can't remember ever stealing signs.
No,
No. I
I'm
can't.
gonna-
I have one sign. I don't think I stole one sign my whole life. Of course.
One time we had to chain wrap around a stop sign and we got to pulling, we were like, well, wait a minute, if we steal the stop sign, somebody doesn't stop. And I was like, okay, unhook that chain and let's get the hell out of here. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna hold off on this permit until Carl or a representative can come in and talk with us. That being said, warrants are signed now. Review of the mail. We tabled pending items. The only other thing I have here is to whom it may concern letter from Gary Smith. Outlining his project for solar at,
Yeah.
yes.
He owns
Yeah.
on which,
Yeah.
says which cat road.
Gary Smith is putting on center
Which
ones.
cat?
Yeah, he's putting the solar panel array. Not on a roof, it's gonna be an array on the land.
Okay,
Is he still up here?
Yeah. I wanted to stay here.
He claims that he also has a wind turbine over there that is not in use.
Got the same name, but Gary Smith is on. next-
Yeah, he's something,
What's up?
Wolstenholme Hills there.
yeah,
is not- Unless he bought. I don't.
Gary Edward Smith.
that doesn't,
I don't know, Gary.
He's got a 770 cell phone number area code. Anyhow, he's looking to install this 34 panel solar array,
Oh, wow.
63 foot by 8 inches by 15 foot, 63 foot, 8 inches by 15 foot.
this doesn't look like it's asking for permission. This looks like it's
He's telling us
just
he's
a,
doing it,
it's just the
but he's confused.
notification.
Doesn't he need a permit to do this?
From the state.
He doesn't need a permit locally? A building
From
permit?
us?
Yeah,
No.
zoning permit?
That would be a
I
great.
think he needs a zoning
I'm
permit.
not sure, Terry.
And he's talking about excavation and everything else here. And excavation.
I thought you even had to get Act 250.
It says no here.
It's grading of
There are no
area.
acre- That's from my property that I'm aware of. I don't,
Well, what's he mean by that?
not, it's like he hasn't had an Act 250 permit pulled,
So far,
right?
Got a lot of plans.
but does he need one now?
I assume he's doing.
Well, I would think, to be honest with you, we could sit here, scratch our heads and ask a bunch of questions, but this is not our section.
Okay,
This is a zoning question.
Yep.
And I will ask Tammy to pass this along to Brenda and make sure that he has all appropriate permits and applications filed, and we will go from there. If it doesn't require any,
surprised.
good luck to you. Have fun.
Is this Enosburg?
This is Munisburg Power. Yep.
I'm surprised Enosburg doesn't, their power and light, they don't get involved in what he needs for permitting and all that.
They might
'Cause we
have,
do, our field designer goes out and
they might have. I saw them, they were mentioned in here somewhere. Utility has informed me that they will need to upgrade the transformer and support this installation. So they've been out to look at the job site. So, yeah, again, out of our realm. Tammy, would you like a copy of this?
do you want ugly solar farm?
Here it is, number Act 250 land use permit applicable to the host parcel. Empty.
Who's he selling the,
There's net metering system. It's
Going back to Enosburg.
is it?
Well, has to.
No,
There are no Act 250 land use permits applicable to my property that I'm aware of.
That means I can sell mine. to
That I'm
somebody.
aware of.
How's that work?
I don't know.
It goes on your grid, but then you have to pay somebody else for it.
I don't know how.
Tammy,
I'm
here's
not
a copy of that.
understanding the,
He's down
the
there
verbiage.
today.
I've heard that.
With-
Yeah.
I'm not understanding the verbiage here.
So what my understanding is this is what he's mailed to his neighbors
Correct.
to this from 106.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, this is what he's mailed to his neighbors to give them the capability of calling in or hitting something on a URL to complain and say they don't want it.
Doesn't make sense that he wouldn't have to have a permit of some kind from either state or town.
Definitely from the town.
Why it will not have an undue adverse effect on.
You notice that they have till July 27th to intervene or request a hearing because they don't want it being neighbors.
That's his letter with all the information. If you can just make sure that gets to the appropriate, and there's multiple copies. Todd's copy is right there if you need more than one.
Do we require, did we require, do we know a permit for, I think it's the Horns
in the
across the street from the gas station? They have a solar array, or maybe not as big, but they've got.
Oh, that's your neighbor.
Solar panels,
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a lot of solar panels in Bakersfield.
I do believe they came in.
Different though.
No, he's talking about the ones that your neighbors have up on top of the hill.
You mean by Jan Marcotte's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh.
but this is like if I'm
Well,
seeing
it's
it right.
63
this is
feet
a
long.
it's
Solar
long,
farm.
it's big.
right. But
That's
how,
still
how,
theoretically the same 15-foot, it's theoretically solar panels, I'm just asking if we require. I think somebody should have a permit to put this in, be it at the state level or local level or both.
I'm sure,
Yeah, this. is
yeah, I'm sure it has to be.
Somebody getting solar panels. You can get solar panels that either go on your roof or
Right.
stand alone.
Right,
This
but I
is a
think,
solar farm,
Yeah,
So-
63 feet by 15 feet.
so it does, right,
well, that's not
this-
that
this-
big.
I don't know, I don't know nothing about.
63 by 15. You're not talking
Length is shorter than this building, length of this building. maybe?
probably the length of this building and probably from this wall to those pipes.
And it's only one.
So it's one strip.
One row.
I bet you it's close to like what, where Michael Jarvis had his up there. Mark
Yeah.
Boyer lives now. I bet it's probably not more than double that.
then it's
That's not a very
probably
big,
Brandon's,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's,
We don't see the height of it. But I don't think.
Yeah.
yeah, right, leeches have one. We have several on our
yeah.
lines.
No, I just want to make sure that I'm not worried about it from the town standpoint. I'm more worried that make sure that he has the correct permitting so that he can get all that taken care of.
Yeah,
And if he needs
I
one. from
thought
us,
he
then
was
he can
talking
come and
more
fill
of
it
like
out.
a solar
Yep.
farm, like leeches or
Yeah, no,
one of those.
no, I think that's.
Well, he's just something
In the sun
I
plan.
guess to get anything,
Yeah, it states about the.
I
maybe
bet it's,
those guys do.
That's 10.
I think what it is because it's taking up a
Plan.
footprint.
They do the town plan.
So like when I put them on my roof, I
That's
didn't
what
have to get a
it's
permit
planning
because it wasn't expanding my footprint. It was just laying on the roof.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the one.
My button's on.
Try that again.
Planning Commission, that's one of the, because they have to begin revamping the town plan.
Right, so
You
it's
know,
not.
and
in
there are a
the-
lot of things that weren't considered 8 years ago,
Yeah.
Right, this being one of them.
and solar panels are.
There you go.
I.
All right.
one
Pull it up.
thing.
Brigham Academy update. Heard no new news.
Still standing.
Pending Royals, that one, that one. Any others, John?
Yeah, just one quick one. I spoke to Chris Ward from my takeaway from the last meeting.
Yep.
The person that we constableized.
Yep.
He's in Switzerland right now. So he's not able to go up on Mountain View Road.
Okay.
Do we have to buy him a drone?
Well, he did tell you he's active military. Yeah, yeah. Send him all over the place. So, he said he's back at the end of the month and he'll come in maybe on the 24th meeting and
Yep.
we can all talk about it then.
Yep, and again, it wasn't, I mean, his job that I envision in that whole situation would be to bring up a folding table
Yeah,
and a handful of pens and make it so people can pay for their sticker and hand them out. If they so choose not to, then I hope the game wardens are there and issue a citation. We'll give them our citation book so they can write one for the town of Bakersfield also.
There you go.
And that's how I would like to see that go. I mean,
I'm with you.
I got my sticker.
I don't ride on the road,
I'm with you.
but that's all I have. Does anybody have anything else?
You gonna feel that beast up? I drive you right up here.
Very good fireworks.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that was.
Yep.
Nice display.
I was very impressed with those.
4th of July. I thought the parade was pretty good considering it was a 2-week throw together.
Yep. Yeah,
I
mine,
hope. I hope we can expand the 4th of July celebration.
Back to what it used to be,
Yeah,
would be nice. We need more people. People that are interested in being involved. That's
I
what's
think,
happening.
I think you can get more people involved. If we get a committee going.
Yeah, I think that, I agree. I think the committee needs to start in April.
Yeah, definitely early.
Yeah,
did I just,
Could find the old.
hear John volunteers that head of committee?
Fire
All those in favor?
Parties.
Hmm,
Oh, that'd be so much.
that
fun.
was fun.
We used to do a lot of stuff. I mean, we used to have,
The spinning of the wheel. Your grandfather always ran the spinning of the wheel. Clem Paquette always did remember it was you had the box and it had the colored
yeah, the roulette,
circles.
roulette.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you want to call it that, but that's what it was. Yeah,
Oh,
it was 10 to 1 and you put a quarter on it. If it landed on black, you get 10 quarters and,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, it was,
Every now and then Clem would let you get underneath and let the ball go.
yeah, there was a lot of stuff that we used to do that you probably can't do anymore.
No, I mean,
What?
when I was in the Boy Scouts, we had the obstacle course from the Boy Scouts.
James.
You know what I've always thought would be fun? I know this is kind of crazy, but I think a soapbox derby from the intersection down the hill past where Aunt Lisa and Uncle Steve used to live.
Yeah,
There's enough room there. You could shut down that road, bypass people out and around. And a soapbox derby right there. That would be a blast.
Why couldn't you do it on this hill?
That one's bigger.
They have an outhouse race in Bristol.
There you go.
That sounds like an adult thing there.
Where somebody was sitting on the inside.
that's funny.
That's a big.
I think we
That sounds like
should
a shit
jump
load of cash.
a select board chair.
Don't just like.
There you go.
Sounds good to me. There'd be somebody else in George.
That's a lot thing.
Boy, we'd probably make a lot of money on that one.
We good?
We're gonna need a really stiff arm, though, if I'm sitting on that thing. That's
you're
all I'm
gonna need a
saying.
bigger tank.
We need a bigger board.
The music was great too.
They used to do it with
Like-
the fire department's tank there, their big,
Oh, yeah.
big trough.
Oh,
So,
wow, yeah.
It wasn't heated either, if I remember right.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen this.
We looked at that last
Yeah.
meeting.
So if there's nothing else, I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that. I'll second that.
Motion's been made and second for adjournment. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Thank you.